Hi, and welcome to Happy Kitty Crafts. It's been a while since we've posted an arts and crafts video, so I hope this one is to your liking. I personally liked and enjoyed the whole process. In order to paint with leaves, you need to collect a handful of leaves, look for different shapes, types, and sizes so you can have more options when you begin painting. Look for leaves that are thick and sturdy because through trial, I found that the thin leaves tend to curl and wither quickly. I also picked a flower, but that wasn't for the project, that was just for me. And I found these beautiful seed pods that are protected in a thorn-covered ball that falls off when the seeds are dry and ready to be planted into the ground. Isn't nature fascinating? It has its own self-protection system. Start off by washing the plant leaves and rinsing them off in water just to get rid of any dust or particles that may be on the leaves or any insects, and then keep them in the water just so that they can stay fresh and crisp and not wilt. We'll need palettes or any plastic surface that is washable will also work for you to put your paint on. Of course, our brushes, keep several sizes around for more options. A towel, tissue papers, a glass with water to clean your brushes. We'll need watercolor paper or any thicker and stronger paper or surface. Anything about 140 grams per square and above is good. Thinner paper will break apart or tear, so avoid those. We'll need a set of acrylic or gouache paints. I found that watercolor paint or water-based paint doesn't sit well on the leaves and will not transfer properly due to its translucency. And stay away from oil-based paints altogether because they are not safe for kids. And this is definitely a craft that would be more fun to do with kids. Decide on the colors that you want to use and the color palette that you want to go with, and I decided that I want to go with shades of blue. I wanted to do a sort of degradation, so I started with putting several dots of blue on the palette, and I will be adding white to make the blue lighter, and to make the blue darker I'm going to add a little bit of purple or even black will do. But I wanted to go with purple because it will give it a nice bluish, darker bluish purple shade instead of just a dark blue, and that's kind of what I wanted. Mix your colors well so that they can become completely different shade and a different color. You can mix them with a palette knife or with a toothpick or a skewer. I'm just lazy and I chose to mix them with the end of one of my paintbrushes instead. On the back of the leaf, I'm going to start applying the lightest color of blue that I have on the bottom. Then I'm going to move on to the darker shade of blue and start applying it to the middle. You can apply it roughly and choose not to mix it with the bottom blue, but I decided to sort of dab and blend in better so that there isn't a very clear line between the different shades of blue and that it transitions more smoothly. Now I'm going to turn it over and press it very well onto the paper. Apply some pressure just to make sure that the paint transfers properly. And remove, and look at that. That is beautiful. I think the beauty in using this process is that you don't know what the end result is going to look like, and you don't really have a lot of control over it either. So it's like a little surprise for you. It was really interesting and it was a lot of fun. You can choose to repeat the process with the same leaf or switch to another leaf. Try not to overthink too much. I just went with it and saw where the color, where the moods will take me. As I was painting this, for some reason I thought, this kind of looks like a headdress. And I started to visualize a person with this beautiful big headdress on their head. Obviously it's a headdress, where else would it be? So I started off not really planning what I wanted to do and just going along with this process, and the image just started to come to me. I'm not really much of a painter, I'm not very experienced in painting, so my methods might be a bit unconventional, where when I dab on a bit too much paint, I tend to get a tissue and just wipe it off or dab at it just to decrease the intensity of the paint or the amount of the paint, or sometimes when there's just too much water along with the paint, I do that And I don't know if that's correct or not, but hey, what's correct in art? Everything is acceptable. The whole point in making art is just to let the process overcome and take over, and to just let go and go with the flow. And I didn't mean for that to rhyme. I'm not trying to write a poem here, but I think you get what I mean. It's a beautiful way to just let go of all the control and the stress. Just enjoy it and go along with the process. And when you're not too hard on yourself, you realize that is the time when you start to shine even more. That's the time that you start to be creative more, because you're not putting rules for yourself. You're not constantly trying to control everything. And you'd be surprised with the results that you get when you stop overthinking things. So with this one, I decided I'm going to use the negative space around, and instead of painting the actual leaf, I'm going to paint around it, because I really liked the shape of the leaf. It just looked so beautiful. It looks like a little miniature tree on its own. I think this is a beautiful little arts and crafts hobby or activity that you can do with your kids and with your friends, because first of all, you get to take a stroll in the garden, really observe nature and look at the beautiful things in life that you don't usually pay attention to and always walk by, because you're just too caught up with life and too busy to take that moment. You get to also reconnect with nature. And you don't really have to be a talented artist to be doing something like this. All you need are the proper tools and the proper mindset and great company, and this will be just an amazing, fun experience for everyone, I'm sure. So I hope you guys liked this quick tutorial / watch me paint video, and as usual, have a great day from Happy Kitty Crafts.